Welcome YouTubers on this series of tutorial on how to build an employee management system using OOP concepts in PHP. Okay, now in the last tutorial I told you guys that I was going to show you how to make things much more easier, right? Not to duplicate yourself, right? Because in programming or in software engineering, duplication of data is redundancy, right, which is not good. So wherever you see yourself duplicating or writing the same code all over again, it means there's something wrong, or there's a better way there's a better way to do that, right? So you see that when we did this employee script or this employee code, you see that the same thing that we've done here, we've declared the same thing as in our employee, right? So the only thing that changed was the query and to check if a user actually exists. This is actually bad programming, right? We have created a whole page on its own just to do this little functionality, which is already been done here partially, right? So what we'll actually do is we'll get back to our script, and instead of checking this condition to see if the employee exists and saving it in a different file, what I'll do is I'll copy this guy, this ID, right? I'll copy it and I'll get rid of this guy, right? I'll get rid of it, and now we are going to save. We're going to use one file in order to create a new employee and to update the employee also, right? Just one file, so which will be this our register employee file. So we'll use this file to update a record, the employee's record, and to also save a record, right? So when it comes for updating, we'll use the same file and just update, right? And when it comes to registration, we just register, right, without updating. So you see how to do that. So the only thing I'm going to touch here is I'll pass in a condition, right? I'll say if it's set, or if it's set $_get, we want to get the ID, right? So if it is set that employee ID, it means before updating or before submitting this, if an ID actually is set or if an ID exists, what I want to do is I want to add this ID field, right, in the submission process. It means when you're submitting the data, an ID should also be submitted to it, and that is all about it. So if it is set, add the employees table, right, this ID table, so, and join it and send it to this file. So I'll go to that file, register employee, and we are getting the same user information, but the only thing that has added is an ID, right? So I'll say ID and I'll say $_. There's no need for us to sanitize it because we are passing it on our own, right? So ID equals to $_post, and we have the employee's ID. That is on, right? So we are getting that ID in contribution with all of this. We are getting that ID and we save it inside an ID variable, right? So in this script we would leave everything the same. We'll check to see if the email is okay and check to see if the number is okay, but what we actually do is I'll give a space here. Before checking if the employee exists, I'll write my update statement here to check if it's an update query, right? If it's an update query, then it should rather update and just redirect to the dashboard, right? Else, if it's not an update query, it should go ahead and check if a user exists and register the employee into a database, right? So write a query here and say update, oh come on, sorry about that, update user query if it is an update. And what I'll do is I'll say if is set or always want to check if the variable is set, right? And what variable is set? If the id is set, because the only thing that will know if it's an update query is if this id is being set, right? If the id is okay and is being set, that is the only thing that will actually check. But if we do this, we'll actually give an error, because what if it's not set? You will say unable to get this guy, right? So I'll get rid of this guy actually in order to prevent errors. I'll get rid of it, and what I'll check here is if it is set, that variable. So it means if it is set, it means we actually know that it's an update query, right? Because an id does not exist only when the user information has been saved in the database. That's when an id is being associated to that id to that user. But while still registering the employee does not have an id yet until when the employee data is being registered in the database, right? So we are saying if the id is being set, this employee id is set, what we want to do is we would like to save it first of all inside. Let me remove this dot. We would like to save it inside a variable, right, called id, and we'll do same thing as we did here, right, in our edit employee class, right, which was the first class we're using. So I don't want to write this all over again. So what I'll do is I'll copy the query, right, and I go back to my register employee and paste it there. So I never wanted to write this query again, that's why I just went back to the script, the old script that we wrote, and I'm doing that. So I'll say update employee, set full name, all of that, where the id is equal to this id, right, and it queries the information. And we'll do same thing by checking if the result is successful, right? We'll do same thing by checking if the result is successful. Now if the result is successful, we would like to say username has been successfully updated to the database, right? And we refresh to the dashboard, right, and we refresh the dashboard. Now we don't just want to refresh, but we want to say after all of this has been executed, we want to exit, because we don't want to update and then come again and check, because scripts are being executed from top going down, right? So you check this condition and see if everything is okay. It executes this and goes now to the next statement, right? But we don't want it to go to the next statement. We want it to execute everything, since our script will actually end here, right? So we want it to execute everything. Then once everything is okay, exit, right? It means stop execution here, and everything down here will not be considered, right? Which means we will not register, will not check if an employee exists, or will not also insert it, right? Which will be duplication of data. So no duplication of data. So what we're saying is update the data and exit from here, right? Stop from here and go to the dashboard, right? So that's just the code. Let us see if it works, right? I'll refresh, click on edit, and let's say I want to edit this information to Akonwi Yannick, which is my friend's name, and the IT department is a programmer, right? So I'll update this data. You see it says so that has been successfully updated to the database, and the first record is Akonwi Yannick. You see that the data has not been duplicated, right, and his department has been changed to programmer, right? So that is just it, right? That's the simpler way without repetition, which means I can get rid of this file to actually confirm if everything is okay. I can get rid of this file and do the same process again. Let's say I want to update this Akonwi Yannick, still Akonwi Yannick, but change the username, right? So I'll edit it and change the username to be Akonwi, and if I update, it says Akonwi has been successfully updated to the database. It goes to register employee.php, right, and the username is being saved without any duplication of data, right? So that is how we can do it in a more dynamic and more flexible way, rather than creating a separate file to do the same thing, right? So mind you, something to keep in note: whenever you're programming and you see anywhere you're repeating your program or you're writing the same code all over again, I think you should go back and look for a better way to actually accomplish that, right? So that is a nice and more better way to implement this on the same script, which perform two separate actions, right? So thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe, like and share this video. Okay, thanks so much and take care.